Buddy Nerds, this is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and I'm finally doing the book Nerdigans video discussion for Embers and Echoes by Karsten Knight. It's the second book in the Wildfire series. If you have not read Wildfire or Embers and Echoes, please go read the books. You can also check out my Wildfire video as well. And let's get started. So, I like Wildfire, or I'm talking about Embers and Echoes. I like Embers and Echoes because it started literally right where Wildfire ended, because it ended on a cliffhanger. And we find out Colt is really a hoppy trickster god, Kokopelli. And this means, you know, because if you remember, I mentioned that on Ash's scroll it says to kill the trickster, so Ash will have to kill him at some point. And Colt wants to use Ash to find her little sister that apparently can open portals to the Cloak Netherworld, because his goal is to destroy the cloak, which becomes more apparent in Afterglow. And in the sense, Colt, what Kokopelli can do, or Colt, he can regenerate, and his memories even regenerate in his brain, because you know how I mentioned in the last video that the gods come back as a clean slate. Well, because of the regenerative powers of Kokopelli, his memories even return. So, and another power of Kokopelli that he has is he has a seductive voice. It's kind of like the siren of Hoppy mythology. That's what I thought. And we find out, we know who Ember is. The Ember is Ash, and the Echoes are the memories from Ash's previous life, where, you know, she married Colt, and she before she married Colt, she was a thief, and she killed Eve. And remember when Leslie said that they found Eve burned at the stake? Well, that's who did it. Was Ash. And then she finds out that Leslie found her sister and named her Rose, and Leslie took Rose and to Miami. And the Miami schedule that Ash soon finds out is brekkie at noon, lunch at 5 p.m., and dinner at 10 p.m., sleep at dawn. I don't think I could do that, because I'm so used to eating breakfast before noon, like at 8 or 9 in the morning. And, well, nowadays, because of school, I have class at like 7:30 in the morning on Mondays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, or not Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays I have class at 8 a.m. So I couldn't do that. It would be torture. And then we meet Wes, who Ash rescues from thugs, and we get the birth of hashtag Wash. Screw you, hashtag Cash. Hashtag Cash is meh. Screw that. And we find out Wes has the power of darkness, and he's the Aztec god of night, Tezcatlipoca. Hopefully I said it right, I'm sorry. And then we meet Aurora, who is the Roman goddess of dawn. And I have to say, Rick Riordan, you did Roman gods. Where is Aurora? Now I want to see Aurora. That is totally bullcrap. And we meet also Leslie's bodyguard. And so we have Ray, who's the Incan sun god, and T, who's the summer, and they call themselves the Four Seasons. And we have Bleak, who is Skady, the Norse god of winter. Again, I love that this book has different gods from different cultures. And we have Thorn, who's Leslie's right-hand man, and we find out she's sleeping with him, and she's a cougar. Yeah, she's a cougar. And that thought is not pretty. And his name is Quetzalcoatl. Oh, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm probably butchering it, but whatever. And he's the Aztec god of winterfall. And we find out Lily is spring, and she's back. And I love Ash's way. I know what she says. And she says, maybe not your hand, but I know a prick when I see one. I was like, yep, thank you. Thank you, Ash. I love your wits. And I love what Ash says to Lily. And I might use that line. Lily, you're looking a little tense around the eyes. Too bad Botox can't fix your personality. That was awesome. That is an amazing line. And I love what she says to, I think she says it to Thorin. She says, admit it, you started a religion because you wanted more Facebook friends. I was like, oh, now it would be Twitter followers, but whatever. And we also meet Ishtab. I'm sorry if I didn't say it right. Ishtab, who's the goddess of gallows, and she comforts people just before they die. And so basically, she's laying on the beach, and she loves her hostess cupcakes. And I'm like, yep, I love my hostess. I'll eat hostess cupcakes once in a while. # guilty pleasure. And of course, she's a lesbian goddess because she is in love with Aurora. And we found out that Aid was going to be sacrificed sacrificed. And I was like, no, you freaking 4 seasons, why? Leave Aid alone. And they rescued Aid. Oh yeah, and it was funny how they rescued Aid. So Ash destroys the tank that the fish are in because Aid was being kept at a hotel. And I put in my notes, I put R.A.P. fish, you died for the cause. And then Ash, like right before Ash escapes, because what happens was Ash sent Wes to carry Aid down the stairs, and she jumped out the window, and it was totally secret agent style, and she had Aurora rescue her. And then Leslie, they kidnapped Leslie, and that's how we found out that Leslie is a cougar. And Leslie was going to have a meet up to get Rose. And first thing she sees is Leslie, the frozen human crucifix. And I love what Ash says to Bleak. She says, I've met cold fronts before. You're just a cold bitch. I was like, yep. Oh, and I said # wash. I'm sorry, it's #wesh. Wesh is better. I like wesh more than wash. #wesh is officially a thing. And I feel bad for poor Wes because he was abused and he killed his father in self-defense, and that's why he's living in a penthouse and stuff. And we find out in the echoes, I was like thinking, holy commie Arceus, Ash killed Wes in her previous life, because we find out Rose sent Wes to kill Colt. Because Rose in her previous life her name was Gracie, and and what happened was Ash, or in her previous life, Lucille left Gracie in the barn, and she saw an explosion, and she thought that Gracie was dead. So, and oh man, when Aurora got sacrificed, when they did that live showing, oh my commie and Arceus, that was some of the most disturbing thing I've ever read. Because what they did was they drugged her, and likely drugged Aid, so they couldn't get away. And Lily turned Aurora into a weeping willow, and Aurora was struggling, and oh, it was so sad. It was so disturbing too to read. Yeah, that was a really sad moment. And this is where I'm going. Okay, Colt is totally Clancy, because we find out that Colt was pulling the strings for the 4 seasons as well. And like Colt is he is like the total Clancy, because Clancy in the Darkest Mind series was just pulling the strings for all the events. It was just insane. And oh shit, we find out that Ray and Bleak were a couple. #reek. Sorry, I was on the spot. And Colt saved Ash, and I don't think #Cash is back, but we find out Wes is kidnapped, and he's going to be the next sacrifice, and Ray's defeated in Molten Glass. That was a badass scene. So they were on the beach, right? And Ray is the inking out of the sun, and they're both fireproof. And I like what Ash did was she connected to not manga. Oh, I said manga. To the magma in the sand and changed it in a glass. That was so cool, and he was in a tomb. That was pretty bomb. And we find out that Ash is supposed to be the sacrifice, and that who was the bait? And Wes was the bait. And what was crazy is, I love when authors do this, when they do little hints of stuff in the book and they make it relevant. So earlier in the book, Ash broke a champagne glass, and this is when she met Thorn. And she killed Lily by stabbing Lily with the stem of the same broken champagne glass that she had earlier in the book, which was cool. And then we find out and then we see Rose kill Thorn. I was like, Rose said run, and you know, Thorn looked like he was gonna win, and and then Rose says, no, you run. He's like, I found you though. And then, yeah, we find out Rose killed Colt in the previous life. And then we're going into now we go to the underworld, because we find out Rose can open portals to the underworld. #adventures in the underworld. But this underworld was better than Hades, I will say that. And the cloak says we are all Jack. And it totally reminds me of Steve in Yu-Gi-Oh! The abridged series by Lil Karibo, because the rare hunters are all called Steve. So that just made me remind me of that. We find out the cloak is choked by hate, and the tree of life renews their energy. And we found out that Colt was on the tree of life, because that's where all the bad corrupted gods go. And that Colt poisoned the tree. And so we find out in this book that Pele was divided because Pele was destructive, and we find out more about why this happened in Afterglow. And so how it works is, I was thinking, holy commie and Arceus, here we go. Rose is the explosion, or the fuse. Eve is storms, which is the spark, and then we have Ash, who's volcanoes, which is the flame. And they described it as a camel bra, which is 3 heads, 3 flames, 1 vessel. Spark, fuse, and flame. And I like what Ash said. She's like, is it okay to cut my soul like a $10 pizza? And I was thinking when I read that, I was like, now I want pizza, damn it. And I thought this was so cute, because Rose is so innocent. That, Ash was offering to take Rose to the aquarium, and she said, they take fish from their home? They should put them back. I thought that was aw. And then Wes left, and I was thinking, Ash, you're right. Wes is being a coward because he can't face, Aurora's death. I was like, no! And then we get Raja's back with Rolf's baby Saga. Oh, I love Saga. And I'm going to explain why in Afterglow, why we need another book with Saga. And Karsten Knight, I tweeted Karsten Knight about that. And Raja Scroll says don't eat the child. And when I was thinking, wait, does the scroll mean Saga or mean, I didn't realize it meant Rose the first time. And so Raja aged Rose until she was 16, and I remember the scream that Ash described Rose's scream as something terribly, it's a horrible scream. And it was really sad. And Colt's goal is he wants the goddess's soul, Pele's soul, united, because he wants to be with her. And then after Raja aged Rose, and all she wanted was Saga back, and nope, thrown her out the window. And that's how it ends. Or not the window, off the penthouse. And, oh yeah, did I mention that god who transforms? Well, there's a shapeshifter god too, but I can't remember his name at the moment, and I don't think I put him in my notes. But yeah, he's a total prick too. So, that's what I think about Embers and Echoes. I love this book so much. I want to know what your favorite moments of Embers and Echoes are. So please leave them in the comments section, and like, share, and subscribe. And the next Book Nerdigan discussion video is Afterglow, which I'm really excited. I hope I don't have to do 2 parts to Afterglow, because there's so much that happened in Afterglow, and I love that book. I love Afterglow. So until the next time Book Nerdigans, read on.